Tony Rome Live.
What's up, family, and welcome to another video. Can you do a favor? Can you please hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. I would definitely appreciate it. Thank you very much. What you see here, I have a special video for you all. Unfortunately, this is a young lady that was robbed. Her and her boyfriend was robbed and nearly kidnapped in Medellin, Colombia. In this video, I'm not trying to make Medellin look bad or Colombia look bad. It's a very beautiful country. I've been there multiple times. But there are some safety issues that you have to be very careful of. And I have talked about this so many times on my lives, and I talked about it on other videos. And one of the main things that you have to be careful of is if you become a target, there's a high probability that you will get robbed. What I mean by that is like telephones. Phones are very expensive. Mobile phones make you a very big target down there. If you're going down there with iPhones and things like that, and you get into these taxi drivers, into these taxis, more than likely they may try to steal the phone. I've heard this happen multiple times. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at this video, and we're going to look at and see some of the mistakes that what she made that could have kept her and her boyfriend from getting robbed. So I want you to check this out, and we're going to go through the video together, and I'm going to point out some mistakes that she made. And I'd like to give a shout out to BMT Travel. He did have this video up on his channel also. BMT Travel, he does give a lot of good information about safety in Colombia. So I highly recommend that you check out his channel. It's BMT Travel. And make sure that you like and subscribe to this channel also too. Okay, here we go.
I almost got stabbed and kidnapped in Medellin, Colombia, and here's a story on how that happened. I was on a content trip with some girls. We had a beautiful house in a very nice gated community. It was an amazing content trip. We had a great time. I never usually post when I'm on a trip until I'm back into my country, back home. Then I post all about my trip. No one usually knows that I'm on a vacation until I'm back. However, this was a content trip, so we kind of had to post while we were there in order for us to, have the best engagement. Anyways, once that 5 days was up with my girls, it was a great time. We had a beautiful house in a beautiful gated community in Medellin, and it was a good time. However, I extended my stay, and I had my boyfriend meet me in Colombia so we can spend 5 more days, just me and him, in Colombia and enjoy the city. So I'm posting my vacation. We're having a good time. Everyone's watching my stories. My engagement is up. Me and him are having the time of our lives. Okay, all we do is we work, we go home, we go to the gym. We work, we go home, we go to the gym. So this vacation was a very much needed vacation for us. And we were having so much fun. So much fun. Until that night. We had decided to go to a nightclub. We took an Uber to the nightclub.
And you know what? Something else I'd like to tell you too, that they tell me in Medellin. This is what the females tell me. They say the night is the most dangerous part of Medellin, going out at night. Because there was several times I was there. I was going to go do some nightlife, and I had my camera in my hand, and I was stopped. They told me, do not go out there at night because the probability of you getting robbed becomes very much higher. So I just want to let you know that too.
And the entire trip, I would always tell him, like, I'm not taking I'm not taking taxis. I'm only taking an Uber. Like, I don't trust taxis, whatever. I only want to take an Uber. And he was cool with it. Yeah, he's not gonna force me to take a taxi if I don't want to. He thought it was a great idea. Anyways, we go to this area in El Poblado, and if any of you know Colombia, you know El Poblado is a very, very touristy destination. Like, I did a lot of research. It's where all the tourists go. It's like the LA of Colombia. It's supposed to be safe. So we're in the El Poblado area, in Medellin. And we're in this area where it's a strip of restaurants and nightclubs. On this side and on this side is a strip of restaurants and nightclubs. And we were in the middle, sitting where there was a bunch of chairs and tables and a huge tarp over us. So me and him are sitting there, and I forget what we were like bickering about, right? Something stupid. We're bickering, and then all of a sudden it started pouring rain. So, you know, in Colombia, they don't have all 4 seasons. They only have 2. They have wet season, they have dry season, because it's so close to the equator. Well, it was wet season, and it's basically like a tropical forest in Colombia, in Medellin. So when it started raining so fucking heavy, pardon my French, so heavy that the streets started flooding. And
I know exactly what she's talking about. When I was in Medellin, there was a lot of rain. The rain would come, it would rain real hard, it would stop, then it'll rain again, then it'll stop. So I do know what she's talking about the rain in Medellin.
And normally when it rains that heavy, you're like, okay, it's gonna stop in like 15 minutes, right? Heavy rain like that stops in 15. Tell me why we waited for an hour and a half for this rain to stop, and it wouldn't stop. And the whole time me and him are bickering about something stupid.
Yes.
Okay, I think it's so silly to think about now. Anyways, point is, we saw everybody running towards the cabs. There's a designated area for the taxi drivers where they're all lined up, and you're supposed to take the taxis in the beginning. At first, you know, like the taxis that's in front of the line, it's proper taxi etiquette. You take the first one and move on. But everyone is running towards these taxis. So, and he kept trying to say, let's just go. I'm like, no, the rain will let up. The rain will let up. The rain did not let up after an hour and a half of waiting. So at some point I was like, screw it, let's just take this taxi. Let's just jump in this taxi and take us back to the hotel. We go up to the taxis. There's one guy out of his taxi and he's waving. He's like, taxi? And I'm like, yeah, sure, we'll take that one. I don't want to get my feet wet. He picks me up, my man picks me up, and he puts me in the back of the taxi, okay? I'm sitting behind the driver. My man is sitting next to me on that side, on my right. And the guy starts speaking Spanish, and I don't understand a word of Spanish, okay? I know the common things, hola, ¿cómo estás? You know. He asked me for what.
One more important thing too, Spanish is very important when you go to Colombia. Please learn Spanish before you go to Colombia or any Latin American country. At least know the intermediate. I'm not saying you have to speak it fluently, but at least be able to understand mostly what they're saying and be able to have a conversation. That is very, very, very important. Another mistake I see that she made, what she should have done was to call the hotel where she was staying and tell them to send a taxi from where she was staying. Because the taxis that I always use are taxis from the hotel. And then when I go to other places, I always use Uber. I do not trust those taxi drivers. Unfortunately, there's some of them that are not safe. And I did have a very scary experience with a taxi driver on the way to the airport. You know, I did talk about that on one of my videos. So what she should have done was she should have called the counselor where she was at, the place that where she was staying, and say, hey, me and my friend, my boyfriend, we need a ride back to the hotel. This is where we stand. And they would have came and got her. But just to jump into a taxi like that, especially at night, I do not recommend it.
I think he's asking me for the address. So I go to Google, I put the address of the hotel on my phone, and I hand my phone to him. He takes my phone, he's like, okay. And he starts driving. I didn't think anything of it. 1 minute goes by, and I'm like, babe, don't you think it's kind of weird that he still has my phone? And he's like, yeah, he's probably just using it for GPS. So I was like, yeah, you're probably right. He's probably just using for the GPS. And I'm looking at him driving, and you know how like you see thugs drive? Like I come from like a very like rougher part in Ontario, Canada, so like I see how these guys drive, like you know like when you drive kind of like a thug, you look suspicious. Like I felt like something was wrong. And then I look over and I tried to see the meter, and I noticed the meter on the taxi was not on. I'm like, that's a red flag. Okay, now he's totally gonna try to like scam us out of more money. And as we're driving, he starts talking Spanish to us. And I noticed that he takes us on the freeway, which is weird because we didn't need to take a freeway to get to our hotel. Our hotel is like a 5-minute drive. No freeway needed. Honestly, we could have walked home. We walked around that area during the daytime too. It was fine, but it was just raining so hard. Anyways, I get so like choked up when I tell the story. I start to shake. He starts talking Spanish, and I don't understand what he's saying. And I'm like, babe, like, can you just take out your phone and just go to the Google Translate app? Like, we download Google Translate for a reason, so we could converse with the locals.
That's what I'm saying.
Every single person that I've used the Google Translate with, I would put it on the microphone and I'd hold it up to them and they would talk into it. So when I asked him, I'm like, how much do we owe you? And then I turned on the mic and I held it up to him. He took the phone out of my hands. He took my man's phone out of my hands, went on his phone, put $200,000, well, 200,000 pesos on the calculator and showed me. And I was like, 200,000. I'm like, oh.
Scammed.
I'm like, yeah, okay, sure. And I told my man, I'm like, it should only take 20,000 pesos to get us there. Like, it's always been 20,000 pesos. Why is it costing us 200,000 pesos? As we're driving, he pulls over to the side of the freeway. And keep in mind, people in Colombia, they drive like crazy, okay? They drive like fucking crazy. There's bikes everywhere, mopeds, like it's fucked, okay? Pulls over to the side, turns around, reaches back, grabs my man's, goes inside my man's pocket. He grabbed his arm off his pocket, threw it off. He's like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? And I looked at him and I'm like, what the fuck? What are you doing? Like, and then he starts saying something in Spanish. And he's pointing at the fucking phone with the 200,000. And my man's like, yo, relax, we'll pay you, relax, we'll pay you. All of a sudden, he pulls out a knife and turns around and swings it at my man.
Wow.
He tries to stab him. My man grabs his elbow. He's like, yo, calm the fuck down. As my man grabbed his elbow, he tried to punch him on the head with his other hand, and my man's blocking his punches. In that moment, I'm sitting there and I'm looking and I'm like, is this really happening right now? Like right now, like we're getting robbed? We're getting mugged in Colombia right now? And this guy has my phone? And then he makes another swing at my man, and my man blocks it. And in that moment, I'm watching him swinging, and I'm like, I'm okay with getting stabbed. I was ready to get stabbed at that moment. But when I look back at it, I think it was just, I was in so much shock. So at this point, I start panicking, but I'm calm, but I'm panicking. I'm like, this is a dangerous situation. I gotta get myself out. So I start to plead with the man. I'm like, please, I'll give you anything you want. I'll give you money. You want money? I'll give you money. Please, just give me my phone. I'll give you money. Whatever you want, you can have it. I just need my phone. Please, it's the only way I can get a hold of my mother. And click on my profile to see part 2 because I am running out of time here. part 2 of my horror story in Medellin, Colombia. I think where I left off was where I started to reason with the guy. I'm like, please, you need money? I'll give you money. I'll give you anything you want. Here, take some more money. I went into my purse. I grabbed some pesos and I handed him the pesos. And I'm like, please, I just need my phone back. I need my phone. It's the only way I can contact my family. And as I was trying to plead with him, he's looking back at me, right? He's looking back at me, and I got a good glimpse of his eyes. I'm trying to get this guy to feel bad, to see if there's a heart in there. I look in his eyes. This guy's cold. Cold-blooded killer looking eyes. Just dark. Soulless. And that's when I realized this guy's not gonna give me shit. He's not giving me my phone back. So as I was trying to plead with him, he started screaming something in Spanish, and I had no idea what he was saying. And then he made a swing at me, and he tried to stab me. And when he was swinging, he was going like this. But his whole body was twisted, and he was trying to stab me. I start screaming bloody murder. I jump up on the seat. My man is blocking all the swings this guy's trying to make. He keeps trying to grab him by the elbow and by the wrist. And that's when my man started tripping. He's like, don't fucking touch her. Don't fucking touch her. And his scary voice came out, you know, like he was really trying to set the boundary. Like, yeah, you can make a swing at me, but don't ever try to make a swing at my woman. So then he's like, baby, we need to get out. Let's go. And he told the guy, he's like, don't worry. We're leaving. We're getting out. We're leaving. He opens the door to get out because I can't get out of my side. The traffic is...
So this guy had a knife, and he was swinging it, trying to stab her and her boyfriend. This is a very bad situation. But I heard of people sometimes too that carry weapons on them too. They got these special pins that you can buy, or mace. I know people say they carry mace around with them just in case there's something like that happen. So if you ever travel to Medellin, you're going out at night, take you some mace, but it could have been worse. He could have had a gun.
It's coming this way, and people are driving like crazy. If I get out, I could get hit by a car very easily. He opens the door. He puts his leg out of the car. He's got all his weight on the leg that's out of the car because he's about to lift his other leg to get out. And tell me why this cab driver bangs on the fucking gas, steps on the gas as fast as he could, and he tried to drive off with me in the car. And my man jumped. I started screaming, I'm like, baby, he's trying to take me. And my man jumped right back in as fast as he could before he could get out. Before he could drive off, sorry. Then he tries to stab my man again. My man keeps blocking all the stabs. What does he do? The guy gets out of the front seat, goes to the side window where I'm sitting, starts banging on the window trying to get us to get out at this point. My man gets out of the car and he's like, babe, get out. And I'm still in the back seat and I'm like freaking out. So I look in the front just in case. I tried to see maybe he left my phone in the front. Maybe I could take it. It was not there. So I'm like, okay. My man grabs me by my leg and drags me out as I'm trying to get out as well. Keep in mind, when I gave him pesos, I told him I gave him all my money. I'm like, that's all I have. We can go back to the hotel. I'll give you money. You want money? I don't have any more. I was lying. I had more money in my purse and I tried to stuff it behind my arm, like behind my back. I tried to stuff it in my shirt. I was willing to give him all my money to get my phone back because pesos aren't really worth shit for me. My phone is worth a lot more. But at the same time, I didn't want to give him all my money because obviously you can't trust this person. If he were to take all my money, he would have never given me my phone back, and then I'm left with no phone, no money. Anyways, as we got out of the car, he hops back into the car and he speeds off. And now I'm in fetal position on the fucking freeway and I'm rocking back and forth. I'm like, oh my God, baby, he took my phone. Baby, he took my phone. He took my phone. He's like, it's okay. Come on, we need to get you off this freeway. We need to get you off. It's dangerous. And he grabs me by my arm and he's pulling me on the side of the freeway. I'm crying. I'm in distress. It's pouring rain. My makeup looks like shit. My hair looks like shit. I'm dressed decent. I got jeans on and a cute top. And then all of a sudden, there's a guy on the side of the road who stops by to help us. Some shirtless guy, Colombian guy. Didn't speak a word of English either.
Oh, wow.
I'm trying to I'm freaking out. Okay, I'm in distress. Then 3 other cars on the side of the freeway pull over because they saw me with my man in distress. And the guys were looking at my man and they're making fists and they're like pissed at him. They think that he hit me. Okay, they think I'm crying in distress because my man hit me on the side of the road, which he would never. Okay, literally worships the ground I walk on and always tells me he would take a bullet for me. And really proved it. Anyways, 3 cars stop. They're asking me what's wrong. A cop stops too. That was in a motorcycle. He's asking me what's wrong. I'm trying to explain. I'm in distress. I'm speaking English. They're all speaking Spanish. They don't understand a word I'm saying. At one point, the cars start honking. They're getting pissed because we're stopping the freeway traffic. The cop tells me to move over to the side. Go. So I'm like, okay. My man pulls me. He took us to the side. The cars all left. The cop left. He didn't give a fuck. The only person that was left was that shirtless Colombian guy that was on the side of the road.
Wow.
But you know what? While those cars were there and they were all asking me what's wrong and I was trying to explain what was wrong and I was in distress, I was holding my purse and I noticed the Colombian guy on the side of the road had his hands in my purse.
Can you believe that?
He was trying to rob me while I was telling them the story of how he got robbed. He was trying to rob me because he thought I was in so much distress I wouldn't notice. As soon as I saw his hands in my purse, I started screaming, "What the fuck are you doing? Don't fucking touch me!" And my man's over there, he's not paying attention. He's just trying to convince people that he didn't hit me and he's trying to convince them what happened. Once those cars drive off and we go to the side of the road, this guy keeps trying to help us. And my man's like, "Don't worry, baby, he's gonna help us." I'm like, "No, baby." I'm like, "We gotta get away. I don't trust this guy. I don't trust this man." He's like, "No, baby, it's okay. He's gonna help us." I'm like, No, he had his hands in my purse." He's like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, he put his hands in my purse. Why the fuck would he do that if he's trying to help us? What does that have to do with anything?" He's like, "Oh my God, let's get the fuck away from this guy." So he grabs me by my arm and we ran. As we're running, I look back and I see he's following us. This guy is following us. Then I look back again, he stops following us and he's making a phone call. Weird. We get to the nearest gas station, we walk in, we grab a water, put the water there, I throw some money. I'm like, "Please, we need help. I need you to call my hotel." And we're trying to explain to them and they're pretending that they don't speak any English.
That's what she should have did the first place. Before she took that taxi, she should have called the hotel and asked for one of their taxis. Always use the hotel taxis. Do not use random street taxis. Never do that. Never. I never do that. The only taxis that I would use, I do use the airport taxis. I do use those because they are affiliated with the airport. You know, the San Jose airport taxis. I have taken those to the hotel, but while I'm in Colombia, I always use either the hotel taxis or either I use Uber. That's it. That's what she should have done the first time.
They're pretending they don't understand what we're saying. There was 6 people in that convenience store and they just pretended they didn't know what we were saying. Eventually, when they realized, we were crying and distressed after standing there for 5 minutes trying to get someone to help us, the guy starts speaking English. He's like, "Do you want me to call you a taxi?" I'm like, no taxi. I wasn't even pissed at the fact that he knew English. I just wanted to get out of there. I'm like, no taxi. Uber. Please, Uber. I'll give you money. I'll give you pesos. I just threw a bunch of fucking money at him because I didn't give all my money, thank God. So he ends up calling the concierge at the hotel, tells the concierge, "Yeah, you have this person. This is her name, under reservation." Called an Uber. Uber picked us up. We got to the hotel. The concierge was waiting for us there. He gave me a blanket. He gave me tea. They were very sweet about it. And he called the police so that the police could come take a statement, okay? So I had my iPad in the hotel room, luckily. And a man went and got the iPad. I brought the iPad back. We went to the Find My iPhone app. The concierge zoomed in. He's like, oh yeah, that's on the north side. That's a very sketchy part of town, and we don't recommend you go there and try to get your phone back. Anywho, the cops ended up showing up after like an hour. They came to take a statement. All they did was listen. They didn't really take a statement. They basically said, you have to take the loss. We can't get your phone back. We can't go to that area. The concierge tried to convince us to stay and like enjoy the remainder of our trip, but honestly, I felt so weird. I didn't.
You know what? You need to contact Obiland. Obiland can get your phone back. Contact Obiland.
Not want to stay there anymore. I end up calling Air Canada. I changed my flight to leave earlier. We literally left the next day at 6 a.m. I paid an extra $1,000 for that. I would have paid an extra $5,000 just to get out of that country at that moment. It was very scary. I'm traumatized. I still shake when I tell the story. And if I have any advice for you guys, when you go to Colombia, male or female, it doesn't matter how big and strong you are, because my man's jacked. He's jacked. He's a big guy. People don't mess with him. And this guy was crazy enough to try to mess with my man. My suggestion is, if you go to Colombia, which I don't recommend, take an Uber. Never take a taxi. And please, guys, stay safe. Stay safe. I could have been raped. I could have been killed. I could have been sold to the black market, have my organs taken out of me, used as a drug mule. Who knows? But please, for the love of God, be careful when you go to Medellin, Colombia, El Poblado, the safe area. Take care.
Wow, I'm sorry that happened to you. Yeah, guys, so again, hope y'all enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, subscribe to this channel, and I definitely appreciate it. And I'm glad that she made it back home safely. Okay, peace.